So we're here with Matthew back at the PSP stand, and yeah, what have you got to show us, Matthew?
Hello, I'm Matthew, and we are presenting today a new Lexicon PSP-42. This is the second generation of this plugin. The first one was created some 20 years ago, and it was approved by Lexicon. We are very grateful to this company for this. And after 20 years, we decided that it's a high time to release the new version. Because the old one was not compatible with the latest systems, it was very little, and we decided that there is plenty of things that we need to upgrade, not only GUI. I think I will start with the GUI itself. It's now resizable, it has new preset system, so it's very easy to manage presets.
Excellent.
And it's very easy to control times, delay times, use node values, and so on and so on. But the real difference is in processing. At some point, we discovered that the real hardware is much more complicated than the first version we released, and we added 2 extra modes, because legacy refers to the old version, clean is totally transparent one, but LIMS version is something new, totally new. It implements 2 optolimiters which were present in the real hardware. One is on the input, and the second one is just before converters, AD converters.
Excellent.
And the full mode, which is the most advanced, adds to the limiters the emulation of converters and voltage drift, so the sound is not very static. It's not that digital as in usual digital delay. What's more, you can adjust reference level, so you can, without changing the input and output and mix, you can change the amount of saturation in the plugin. You can adjust high cut frequency. You can also use bypass, which is working like a real hardware bypass in the original PSP-42. It means that it maintains the ratio of mix, mutes wet and input to the delay, but it includes the limiter of the input. So the sound is not digital bypassed, it's like in the hardware, analog hardware path. You can also, of course,
Brilliant.
bypass totally by using power button. You can use in the VCO section, which is actually control of the, it's a modulator. It contains sinus and square, but also envelope follower. And envelope follower is upgraded. Each sounds very close to the hardware now, but you can inverse the polarity on the envelope follower, so the sound can goes up, instant goes down, and so on.
Yeah.
And what's more, you can turn on the synchronization of the LFO. So now with the encoder, you can change the musical value and adjust the phase related to the beginning of the song.
Excellent.
And finally, it is inspired by modification of the real hardware. We've added extra processing mode, extra digital modes. We are called direction, because this is the standard forward recording and playback mode, backwards recording and playback mode. So if you record the phrase with the long delay, record the phrase with forward and switch backwards, so it will play backwards.
Yeah.
Then you can have reverse, it always reversing the playback phrase, and you can select bounce. In this mode, the sound goes forward, backwards. So it's something very unusual and inspired by the modification of the rear hardware. It's very simple, and if you don't use it carefully, it will click, because it's like in the rear hardware. There were not possibility to add crossfade in this hardware, but if you use it with understanding how it performs, how it processes, it gives really outstanding sounds.
Cool.
And
so it's a very authentic experience.
Yes, and of course it has plenty new plugins. I mean presets. Sorry, designed by various developers, and big thanks to this guy, Gary Hall, who was the original creator of this PSPaudioware. Gary was very supportive to us when we were developing the first version and this new one. Without his help, it wouldn't be so easy. Yep.
And in terms
and one more feature, if you don't like extra controls, you can always hide those and see the pure beauty of the original one.
Excellent. Well, it looks fantastic. I'm just interested to know, like, you said it was first released about 20 years ago.
Yes.
Like, what's significantly changed behind the scenes within the engine in say, this latest version?
The first version, original one, had only the legacy, what we call legacy now. It also sounds beautiful, but it's not that close to the hardware it's now. The main difference is that there was only one saturator just before delay line. It sounds good, but there's no limiter on the input. And the second limiter is just a saturator, not limiter itself. Now we have two optolimiters and AD emulation. AD and DA emulation is very important because the hardware has non-linear 12-bit converter. So it's some sort of unique sound. Optolimiters together with converters makes actual sound of this hardware. It's very unique, very distinctive, and this is probably the reason people still have it in studios and are using it, the hardware.
Excellent.
And software as well.
Yeah. And just finally, is it available now, and how much is it on sale for?
It was released yesterday, and we have great offer for old customers, and the promo price is $99.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for showing us today, Matti, and enjoy the rest of the show.
I'm very happy to have you here.